Oh, man. Oh, damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Well, we gotta get into this movie. And I'll be honest, I am just trying to gather enough energy to talk about this one, guys. Um, as I was actually, I got this on a sale recently, and I'm now actively looking to get rid of it. So this is a rare thing. You guys are going to be seeing this physical copy I own right here, and it will possibly be going soon because I cannot believe I paid money for this, and I can't believe that. Yeah, it was that bad. Wicked World, which the energy on this video is completely different from when I was doing the update video, because I was like, yeah, badass poster, right? But Wicked World. Now, I've seen some low budget movies in my day. I love trash cinema. I love bad movies. I love B movies. I love Troma, Full Moon. I think there's great movies in there, but for some reason, some people consider those lower tier studios, which I get it. It's Troma. Troma does Troma things, and Full Moon is making Ginger Dead Man 15. But there's some great movies that have come out of Full Moon and Troma. And I recently rewatched a movie that I really like, that I really enjoy, that's also low budget, that was also shot with some pretty bad acting, and you could say some pretty I don't know, pretty low budget look and everything. And I'll possibly be doing a review on this here soon as well. Flesh Eater. Rewatch this right after Wicked World, and this is how you do it right. If you haven't seen Flesh Eater, watch it. It's a fun one. If you're a fan of Night of the Living Dead, if you're a fan of zombie movies, check out Flesh Eater. It's a fun one. That's a low budget horror film done right. Hell, I seen a movie recently called Killer Pinata. And it was funner than this. It was better than this. It was at least entertaining. It at least knew what the hell it was. Now, Wicked World, directed by Barry G. Gillis, and I know he was involved with Things, the movie Things from the late 80s, which I've seen that, and yeah, it's terrible as well, but Things is better than this. Things at least is funnier, more of just an interesting watch. It's shorter, at least it feels shorter, and at least it was bad. It's a bad movie, but it's a fun kind of bad movie. This was terrible. Wicked World, this was terrible. 3.2 on IMDb. And Barry J. Gillis, I think he might have even been in this movie. Yeah, he's in this movie as an actor as well. And like, I really don't want to be too harsh, because, like, yeah, this is a super, ultra low budget movie from the early 90s. And, these guys went out there with passion and made this movie come true. And there's times in the movie where they got tons and tons of locations. And I'll say that. I'll give them some stuff, some credit. There's not a whole lot of practical gore effects, but there's a lot of blood. It's very bloody. There are some decent ideas for kills, and some decent attempts at the body count. And the blood is very, very red, but, I don't mind that. It's effective, and, there's some decent kills. And I think the best stuff about the movie is the fact that for the really low budget, it's got a lot of locations. Like, every scene is something different, somewhere different, outside, in a building, on a street. They just shot it everywhere. I appreciate that. That's cool how on a low budget you go and you shoot on various locations. That's cool. The music. The music, I guess some people could say is annoying. I thought it was decent music. The rest of this movie was freaking horrible. Was terrible. This is easily one of the worst horror films I have ever seen recently. Like, I'm not even kidding. It is horrible. People want to say Things is bad. No. This is worse than Things. Things is fun. This is an hour and 43 minutes long. And on this version, there's the director's cut and the original cut. I have no clue what the differences are. I am not watching that original cut anytime soon, so I couldn't tell you what the differences are. For any of you mega fans of Wicked World out there, you can tell me what the differences are. And if you're a fan of Wicked World, that's great. Not mean this in a mean way at all. I'm just giving my honest opinion and my honest thoughts on it. And honestly, low budget is not an excuse for how bad this was. Because like I just said, freaking Flesh Eater, this movie was ultra cheap. Just like Wicked World. Flesh Eater is the way to go. You know, if I'm comparing both, Flesh Eater is definitely the way to go. I really enjoyed that movie. This is an hour and 40 minutes of a guy running around killing random people in random places. And that's another weird thing. It's another weird parallel I can draw between this and Flesh Eater. Flesh Eater is a bunch of random people in this small town being killed by zombies. Although in that, you had better gore, you had better effects, you had better fun characters, you had, in my opinion, even though the acting was terrible in that, it was low-key better than this movie's acting. It just looked better. I liked the locations in that movie a lot, the direction of it. It was cool seeing the original zombie from Night of the Living Dead come back. Bill Heidsman, I think is his name. He also directed that movie. It just seemed like it had more of a heart to it. This one, it's just, you don't know anything about these characters. They're all annoying. The acting is horrendously awful. It's some of the worst acting I've seen in a movie in a long time. This is definitely like a contender down there with Creepshow 3. I don't know if it quite reaches that level of anger and hatred that Creepshow 3 draws out of me, but with how long this movie is, I was about 30 minutes in and it was already boring. And this is an hour and 43 minutes. There is no excuse for an hour and 43 minutes. There are shots in this movie that drag on and on and on and could have ended 10 minutes before they even end. There are shots in this movie, slow mode and freaking replayed over and over and over again just to drag out the runtime. There's awful dubbing. This lead killer who's running around, not even a good costume. He's just wearing t-shirts and a mask, a gas mask. So the look of the killer, which I thought on the front, I thought what it was going to be. Honestly, looking at this, I thought it was going to be like sort of like an early 90s August Underground, like a found footage type of flick of these people killing people and stuff. It's not though. It's a shot on video, which I don't really care if it's shot on video, but there are times where you got the early 90s CGI, but this is early 90s straight to video CGI. This is CGI that even back in the 90s, the top tier movies didn't have good CGI. So this is bottom tier CGI. So that is horrible. You have some of the worst acting, some of the worst dubbing, some of the worst direction. There are scenes that don't play out very well at all. They are just flat and boring. And they just don't work, man. And some people could say, well, it's so bad it's good. No, Things is so bad it's good. Feeders is so bad it's good. This is god-awful and boring. Boring is the worst sin that you could do for this movie. Because at least those have similar problems, but they were actually funny. They were actually unintentionally hilarious. This is awful. This is very irritating to watch. If you want to torture yourself, watch this movie. Freaking awful, man. And like I said, usually I'm not this, like, hateful of lower budget films, because I respect these guys went out and made this movie. I respect that they went out on their own dime, on their own time, and they made this movie in various locations. But still, none of the characters in this movie is good. None of them are even passable. All of the acting is trash. The editing of this movie is terrible. A lot of filters, a lot of CGI, and a lot of bad special effects. You got a scene where a guy robs a store. Why does he rob the store? There's no setup or anything. He just walks up to a store, and he literally has a plastic bag over his face. Not a mask. No, not like a mask or a ski mask or anything like that. A plastic bag with holes for eyes. And the bag rips like halfway through the take, so you could see the guy's face, even though the whole point of him wearing it is for people not to see his face. So you got that. You got just a bunch of random shit, man. This killer is narrating. He's narrating this story about, I hate everything. There's literally a scene where he's like, I hate swings. I hate slides. Bro! He hates everything. That's his gimmick. I hate everything. Well, great for you. I've been hearing it for 35 minutes. I don't care. I hate this movie. Do you know that? Now you do. I hate everything. Humanity sucks. Yeah, your movie sucks. Oh my God. And and it's just, you're going along this movie and it has a whole lot of nothing to say. There's nothing to it. It's just, it really is one of those movies where by the end, I was just like, I gotta sell this. I'll give it away for free. I'm not even gonna feel comfortable making people pay money for this. Like, I immediately it was like instant buyer's regret. Instant. I was like, fuck, man. I don't know. Something about the way that the cover looked and the title and, shot on video. I like Splatter Farm. I like Feeders. I like Sledgehammer. So I figure, and those are all better. Sledgehammer is a better movie than this. It's funner. Splatter Farm is a whole lot of fun. It's a wacky, wild movie. This, you got the killer. For some reason, there's certain scenes where he's like in this chair, kind of brain dead, and then there's scenes where he's not, and so I'm like, is that the future or is it the past? What's going on here? We need a narrator. But no, the only narrator we have is a guy going, everything sucks, freaking moaning and groaning, and just nothing makes sense. The narrative is completely thrown. You just don't. Just hard to follow. I found it so hard to follow. There are scenes where just illogical shit, man. Illogical shit. Just a lot of bad stuff, man. I'm trying to think right now about points of this movie. And really, if you're wondering, well, what about the plot? That's the plot. This guy running around killing random people who you don't even know. At least in the burning, and at least in like prom night, you get to know these characters a little bit before they die. This is like, next scene here, next scene these people, next scene these people. And Flesh Eater did it, but Flesh Eater did it in a much funner way, much more entertaining way. This was not entertaining. If you're going into making a movie like this, if you know it's low budget, do some shit that's like eye-catching, and take some notes from Sam Raimi and Peter Jackson and George Romero and the Polonia brothers and, guys who have done shit like this. Because, my God, there was like maybe... Was there even a decent scene? Was there one decent scene in this movie? I don't even think there's one decent scene. All the scenes are just so dragged out, and the shots are like 10 minutes long, and it just goes on and on and on. And I don't even want to spend any more time wasting my breath, wasting my time, my energy talking about this movie. I'm not going to waste my life or your life talking about this movie anymore. Because I'm done. I'm done. Yeah, I'm trying to get rid of this movie as soon as possible. Was obviously not a fan of Wicked World whatsoever. If you're a fan, that's great. If you like the movie, that's fantastic. More power to you. But to me, not a fan. Absolutely not a fan. From the direction to the editing to the special effects to the CGI to the just narrative and the story of the way it plays out and how boring it is. It's so goddamn boring. But anyways, y'all, I'm going to give Wicked World a half star out of 5. Easily one of the worst horror films I've seen in a long time. But anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Take care. I'll let you guys go because I want to get out of here too, because this is a freaking torture chamber. And I'm checking out. I am checking out. We're out of here, guys. Later, guys. Peace.